Episode 42 of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode here on EAFC 24. And we are into Season 3. We are still in League 1, unfortunately. We did not get promoted to the Championship last season. However, we are going to bounce back this season and win the league. That is my prediction. Blackpool seem to have joined us in League 1, coming down from the Championship. Potentially Derby County and Doncaster being the other two teams that have done the same. Doncaster might have been here anyway, actually. Sheffield Wednesday, maybe. QPR, maybe. Actually, I think QPR might have been the other team that have come down with us. Since the last episode, I have made a couple of signings. I have brought in this guy, Warren O'Hara, at centre-back. We got him on a good deal, just 800,000 when his value is 1.1 million. He's just depth at centre-back. We had to send Jerry Dorset out on loan. We lost Rory Bullock. We had to bring in some depth at centre-back, and Warren O'Hara is exactly that. We found a decent-looking free agent at centre midfield, where we needed some depth as well. Abu Adams. Really good stamina, really good aggression. A good kind of defensive midfielder in the Brandon Anderson kind of role. So again, he's just going to be depth for us, just rounding out the squad. We've sent Brendan Clark out on loan. We've brought in another centre-back as well. So we've got Caleb Taylor and we have got Jesse Cartwright. We needed a third centre-back to play, to start really, in that back five. So we've brought in Burke Reeser. He's 27 years old, a little older than I would have liked, but he's 6'2". Left-footed, so can play on that left-hand side, and he's very quick for a guy so big. Really good jumping as well at 81, good strength, and he costs 2.5 million, so he looks to be a really good addition to the squad. I found a young striker who looked very good as well, Samuel Adam. 20 years old, big, strong, kind of in the Jake Dale mould. Big and strong, but also fairly pacey. So we brought him in just to take a shot on him. Samson Tavide is out on loan this season. So he'll be a third striker to play behind Jake Dale and Daniel Jefferson. We've brought in a new goalkeeper. Roman Hewitt I had high hopes for. He didn't develop as much as I would have liked last season. And I don't think he's going to cut it. I think he was responsible for a number of the goals we conceded last year. So we've brought in Nathan Baxter, formerly of Bolton Wanderers. 72 overall goalkeeper, 26 years old, and again we got him for under market value, 1.4 million when he's valued at 1.8. He's going to be a massive upgrade on Roman Hewitt. We sold a couple of youth academy players, Jose Bishop, Will Curtis also left, and I think we are up to speed there. Louis Barry we brought in, I'm pretty sure we covered that in the last episode. Really pacey young winger in on loan from Aston Villa, and we do have an agreement with them to buy him for 3 million if we so choose. But this is exactly what we were looking for last season. 90 acceleration, 85 sprint speed, and he has the quick step play style as well. 91 agility is massive. 86 balance is exactly what we needed out wide. Everything else we covered in the last episode, so I don't need to go into too much detail into that. This episode we're going to jump straight into the first games of the season. So we're going to play our home opener against Wycombe Wanderers, and then we're going to simulate games against Notts County and Plymouth Argyle away. One in the league, one in the cup. We're going to go with the 5-2-3 formation. It's going to be Baxter in goal. It's going to be Josh Key, Caleb Taylor, Jesse Cartwright in the centre of that defence. And then Burke Reeser and Nick Zoroya round out the back five. Anderson and Garbutt, the same duo in midfield that we had for the most part last season. And then Barry and Just are going to support Jake Dale up front. I'm tempted to start Oscar Duarte at left back. I'm not going to make that change just yet, but I think before long Duarte is probably going to surpass Nick Zoroya as the starting left back. Zoroya's better at everything at the moment, but Duarte only 19. I think he has much higher potential than Zoroya. Hewitt is on the bench along with the new signing O'Hara. Diambu on loan from Everton on the bench as well. Sam Ford, Ryan Lancaster and Daniel Jefferson. And we've got a bit more depth down here now as well. So we've got Jose Da Silva, Ebu Adams, Maya Walter and Samuel Adam rounding out the reserves. So this is going to be the squad for season number 3. We do still have about 2 million left in the budget as well. So still plenty of money to do a little something with in January if we need to. Yeah, 2.3 million. So we started out with about 5. We made a bit more money than that with player sales and things, so that went up to about 8. And then with our signings, it's come down to just over 2 million. We're probably going to have to make some changes to our own player contracts and things like that, so we'll probably have to dedicate a little bit of money there. But we should be left with about $1.5 million, maybe even 2 million or so for January to see how we want to spend that essentially. So we're going to jump straight into this game against Wycombe, try and get off to a winning start. The goal, as I said, is very much to win the league this season. At the very least, we want to go up in one of those automatic promotion places. But I think winning the league should be within reach. Do we think we can come out on top? It's about self-belief. As I said, that is the goal this season. Reese is in the new boy. What should the fans expect from him against Wycombe? He's going to make a difference for sure. We have given him a crucial squad role, so we are going to have to continue with the 3 at the back formation, because Caleb Taylor and Jesse Cartwright are both players that I definitely do want to play regularly this season. I do feel like the 5-2-3 is our best formation at the moment. I do want to continue experimenting with a 4-3-3, but I do really like the 5-2-3 and how it's playing. And we've kind of, with the signings we've made, we've definitely built into that 5-2-3 rather than trying to transition to another formation. Wycombe are going to try and play down the wings, but they're going to play a 5-3-2, quite a narrow formation. So I think, as is so often the case with these kinds of formations, I think we're going to match up quite well against them, and I think we're going to be able to get some overloads against their wing backs. So that'll be the way that we try and play.
That's what we're talking about. A match of colossal importance, and one that has captured the imagination of anyone with an interest in this great game.
I really like the new kit as well this season. The home kit looks really, really good.
The action is live.
It's similar enough to our original kit to be on brand, but different enough to be a bit of a change as well. So a couple of debuts in the side today. Burke Reeser, the man on the ball, is one of those. We'll see how he slots in to the back four alongside Jesse Cartwright and Caleb Taylor. Debut on the right hand side as well for Louis Barry. And then potentially 1 or 2 more debuts off the bench as well. Michael Garbutt with an early shot. Slices it and it goes harmlessly wide, but positive start from Redmont Rangers. Jake Dale and Daniel Jefferson really going to be competing for that start and roll up front this year. I'm still fairly intrigued by the 4-4-2 formation as well. I mentioned experimenting with the 4-3-3, but the 4-4-2 with Jefferson and Dale up front has got to be something that we think about at times this year. But if we are going to be persisting with the 5-2-3, then it's going to be a real close competition between Jake Dale and Daniel Jefferson for who gets that starting role most often. I mean, there's going to be a rotation of the two almost certainly. Bit of a nervy moment there early on. Kind of allowed the Wycombe attacker to run through a little too easily there. Caleb Taylor and Jesse Cartwright just opening up between them. I still can't get enough of Jesse Cartwright. He's one of my favourite players on the team. And he's a 6'6" centre-back. But he's so good. He didn't really show it a few moments ago there, but he is a very, very good player. See if Eli just can keep that in. He does just manage to keep it in, and he manages to find a cross. Michael Garbett heads towards goal. Really powerful header from around the penalty spot. And parried by the goalkeeper and out for a corner, but a positive start from Redmont Rangers. Jake Dale gets his head on the ball and it smashes against the crossbar. Jesse Cartwright recycles by knocking the ball out to Risa.
Well, they've started the game really brightly, and that was so close to taking the lead.
Risa just trying to get back to delay that counter-attack slightly. He manages to do that, and Wickham actually are in a spot of bother now. He managed to work out of it though. And Nick Zaroy's got too much pace to be beaten like that. Good defending from the fullback. Bit of space for Josh Key to move into now. Cuts it inside to Michael Garbett. Jake Dale makes the run. Michael Garbett finds him. And Jake Dale puts it just wide. It's a really good move from Redmont Rangers down the right hand side. And Jake Dale with his weaker right foot can't find the far corner. But again, there's positive signs early here in season number 3. I think we've got a championship side this year. The squad is small, but the squad is very good. We've got mid-60s at every single position, and we've got some mid-70s at a handful of positions. Michael Garbett nicks the ball away, and he could be in here. Can't quite cut the defence in two there. Jake Dale initially had taken up an offside position, so Garbett was unable to thread the ball through to him. And then Jake Dale unable to get back on side and find a useful position quickly enough. It's another really good threaded ball from Garbett, this time through to Louis Barry. He puts it into the back post and Eli just tucks it in, and that was going to be a goal every step of the way. Really good move from Redmont Rangers again down the right hand side, and the early pressure pays off with a goal. Michael Garbett has been slicing this Wickham Wanderers defence in two. I think it goes through the legs of the goalkeeper there. It's actually not the best finish from Eli Just. He gets a little bit fortunate that it goes through the goalkeeper's legs there. But sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And Eli Just scores the first goal of season number 3. And Redmont Rangers are 1-0 up at home. Can't take our foot off the gas though. We have to keep pressing. We have to try and get a second goal. We have to keep putting the ball at Michael Garbett's feet, because he's just been threading some really, really beautiful passes through the Wickham Wanderers lines. Wickham could find themselves with an opportunity here though if they can cross. It's just a poor back heel in the end. Louis Barry makes a run through the centre. He just drags the defenders away from Michael Garbett and they keep backing off him. And he's going to try and finish himself, and he does. And it's 2-0 in quick succession. The runs of Jake Dale and Louis Barry, enough to distract the Wickham Wanderers defenders. Nobody wanted to put a foot in. Michael Garbett just, again, threads a ball through, but this time through the gap in the defence and into the bottom corner of the net. And it's 2-0 Redmont Rangers. Really, really good performance so far.
He's in control of the situation.
Again, though, we cannot take our foot off the gas. We have to keep playing with an attacking mentality, even if we're not playing too aggressively and really trying to force a third goal. We have to maintain an attacking mindset. We can't sit back and just try and protect a 2-goal lead when we haven't even hit the half-hour mark. So there's still plenty of time left in this game. Good challenge from Josh Key. An overlap here would be good. Louis Barry's going to drive. He does find Josh Key on the overlap though. Josh Key with almost as much pace as Louis Barry himself. Josh Key chips it in, but it's cleared. Ball doesn't quite fall to Louis Barry on the edge of the box. And Jesse Cartwright will recycle by finding Risa. Spreads it wide to Josh Key again now. I think Josh Key is a future captain of Redmont Rangers. Jake Dale is leading us out again this year. But I think... Oh, and Justice just offside. I think when Jake Dale moves on, which may be relatively soon, he is approaching 30, if not 30. I can't... I'm not sure exactly how old he is at this moment. He's either 29 or 30. He turns 30 this year if he's not already. So potentially Jake Dale, not going to be a Redmont Rangers player for too much longer. And Jesse Cartwright, only 17 years old at the moment, but by the time Jake Dale leaves the club, I think he could well be old enough and experienced enough to captain the side. We could have a good break on here. Louis Barry's got a lot of pace, and he uses that pace to cut inside the Wycombe Wanderers defender. It's a really, I was going to say a really good challenge by the defender, but actually it's a disappointing cross. The assistant referee actually flagged for a foul there. Here's Garbutt's goal. He's had 3 attempts already. I can't remember when the other 2 would have been. Hanlon for Wycombe has picked up a knock, so we'll see if that lingers or if he can carry on. Risa finds himself a little out of position there, and the Wycombe player gets a shot off, but it goes harmlessly over. I think Baxter had that covered all the way, but was a sight of goal at least for Wycombe Wanderers there. Oh, it's a poor pass from Anderson, just giving the ball away on the halfway line needlessly. It's an unforced error. And Nick Zaroy doing the same. Poor spell the last 5 or 6 minutes or so for Redmont Rangers. Nick Zaroy wins the ball back, but he's being pressed hard by the Wycombe attackers. It's a really poor pass from Dirk Risa as well. And we're causing ourselves as many problems as Wycombe have caused us at the moment. To try and get on the ball and settle things down for these last 5 minutes or so. Nice little ball from Brandon Anderson in behind. Eli just didn't get there initially, but he does win the ball back, pulls it back to Jake Dale, and it's 3-0. Goals from Eli Just, Michael Garber, and now the talisman Jake Dale. And it's going to be a comfortable 3-goal lead at half time. Really poor from the Wycombe defender, just lingering and loitering on the ball, giving Eli Just the time to steal it away from him, and then it's just a case of pulling it back to Jake Dale, and even on his weaker right foot, that's always going to be a goal. He might be approaching 30, but he's certainly still got it, Jake Dale.
Just look at the scoreline.
Wycombe not a great side. I mean, I think this is the kind of result we should be expecting against teams like Wycombe this year. Oh, and Jake Dale almost stole it away again there. We've had a lot of departures from our team, but we have actually very much strengthened it this season. A lot of the players that are left were kind of depth players. We haven't lost anyone from the first team, really. Except kind of rotational players like Dorset, who would play occasionally, but certainly wasn't a regular starter. And we've only added to the first team, really, with additions like Risa, like Louis Barry on the right hand side. Almost a fourth goal there just before the break. And in addition to those new arrivals at the club, we have also had just some good internal growth as well. Baxter as well, a player in goal obviously, who's a big improvement over our starting goalkeeper last year in Roman Hewitt. But yeah, we've just had some good internal growth from players on the team as well. Cartwright is up a couple of overall. Nick Zeroy is up 1 or 2. Jake Dale continues to improve. Michael Garbutt I think is up 1 or 2.
Well, we're focusing on him for a reason. He's playing with...
So we're definitely a much stronger side this year than we were last year.
So far, he's looked a constant threat and he's scored a very good goal. What a player he is.
So 3-0 at half time. Do we need to make any changes? I think I'm going to bring Taylor off for O'Hara just because we are so comfortable at the moment that we can afford to make a change like that. I think that'll be the only change you make at half time, but there'll certainly be more changes during the second half. So O'Hara coming on for his debut.
The two teams have switched around and the second half is underway.
And the reason I'm making that change is just because Taylor and Cartwright are both a little fatigued from the pre-season still. Oh, and I thought we were going to be in for a fourth there. So I'm just going to give Taylor the rest. We're 3-0 up. I very much expect to win the game from here. So I don't think we need to keep Caleb Taylor on and wear him out even more. I think get him off, let him rest and recuperate a little so that he's available for the next game.
Less than convincing defending. Other there to tidy up.
Really good feet from Brandon Anderson. And he comes away with the ball. Louis Barry is in. Brandon Anderson doesn't release the ball quickly enough. Barry finds it at his feet regardless. Crosses for Jake Dale. But it is cleared initially from the Wycombe defenders. But running into a bit of trouble with Michael Garbutt's press. And the same applies as he steals the ball for a second time.
Highly significant transfer story. Giorgio Chiellini has completed his move to PSV.
Well, he'll certainly bring a lot of know-how to this team and of course quality. I think he's still got a lot to offer and it's a shrewd bit of business.
We could just pass the ball around here. We haven't got to press too much for a fourth goal, obviously. We're comfortable as we are. We can invite the pressure a little bit from Wycombe and just try and play around them when they press us. Just like this. Garbutt's in a ton of space there. That's a poor pass from him in the end. That's exactly how we can play it in this second half, though. Just pass the ball around at the back. Wait for a line. Wait for a gap between the lines, rather, to appear and thread it through.
Using his strength to shield the ball. Oh, fine play, and maybe it'll set something up. Can he finish?
Oh, and Jake Dale with a fantastic strike. About 20 yards from goal. Finds the ball at his feet from the high Redmont Rangers press again. That's something we're doing slightly differently this year as well. Pressing much higher up the pitch. Trying to do things like that. Force mistakes from the defenders. And Jake Dale unleashes with his left foot. Flies into the top corner. The goalkeeper slightly off his line there. Probably didn't help him. And it is a 4th goal for Redmont Rangers. 4-0 on opening day. At home at Redmont Arena. In front of the home fans. And it's been a really, really positive performance so far. And I don't see why we should stop trying to score now. I think if anything we can get a little more aggressive and try and run the scoreline up a little. Because if Wycombe Wanderers score, they need 3 more just to draw the game, so... Conceding doesn't really matter. It would be nice to keep a clean sheet, to be fair, so we won't get silly, but Brandon Anderson with his own strike from range. His less accurate than Jake Dale's. It was with his weaker right foot. Make a couple more changes. I think I'm going to bring on Sam Ford, and we'll bring on Daniel Jefferson up front as well. See if he can get himself on the score sheet. Jake Dale has scored 2. Could have left him on a little bit longer in search of the hat-trick, but I'll give Daniel Jefferson a run out for half an hour. Give him a chance to get on the score sheet possibly as well. It's a great header from O'Hara. I was going to say Caleb Taylor there, but the 14 threw me off. I'd forgotten that I'd taken Caleb Taylor off for O'Hara at half time. O'Hara is somebody I've had my eye on for a little while now. He's been sitting on our transfer shortlist for a little while. He was not quite good enough to kind of prioritise at any point. Could be a 5th here, and it is. It's a great ball in from Josh Key, and Sam Ford was all alone in the penalty area. He's got the armband from Jake Dale now that he's left the field. And we are racking up a huge win here on opening day. Great ball in from Josh Key. Nobody near Sam Ford. And he just lashes it into the roof of the net with his left foot. It's a great finish. It's a difficult skill on the volley, but he made it look easy. Not sure where Daniel Jefferson was. I would expect to see him in those kinds of positions rather than Sam Ford, but Sam Ford found himself there and he took full advantage. Oh, a nice little ball through, and Sam Ford just stopped. All he needed to do was take a couple of steps forward and he had a second goal. Good challenge from Brandon Anderson. Doesn't quite come away with the ball there, but there's that press again. We are pressing much higher and much more aggressively this season. And it's certainly paying off at the moment. We maybe can't afford to do that against every team. Maybe against teams who match up a little better against us, we might be punished for that, but against teams like Wycombe Wanderers, I think that's definitely the way to play. Redmont Rangers fans having a very good day out. And Wycombe have just thrown Daniel Jefferson the ball for some reason. He cuts inside and he makes it 6 by banging it in off the far post. No idea what was going through the Wycombe Wanderers defender's head. Just threw the ball to Daniel Jefferson's feet. Maybe he's got something against Jake Dale. And he just thought, here you go, Daniel Jefferson, you're Dale's primary competition. If you get on the score sheet, maybe the manager will put you in. Just absolutely gifted him a goal. No reason to throw the ball to him there. But he did it anyway. And it's 6-0 Redmont Rangers. What a performance to kick off season 3.
Pasting 6-0. And new developments in the Peterborough match. The information
It's been an absolutely dominant performance in every aspect, really. Going forward, defending.
for the update, Alex.
So Roy is going to have a go.
Alert reaction to tip it over. Well, the referee
And a yellow card for the foul.
and a
Referee played advantage, but does pull the player back to warn him.
driven in the corner. It hasn't come to very
We do have Risa on corners at the moment. I might make a change there though, because I think I'd like him in the box. He is 6'2", and he does have good crossing. He can play left back as well as centre back, and he does have a good left foot on him. He is good from set pieces. That's why I put him on corners. But thinking about it now, I probably am better off just leaving Eli just on corners and potentially having Risa in the box
We're inside the final.
to try and win a header, because he is 6'2" and he can jump. So
That is how to apply the pressure.
I thought we were going to get away with that then, but the referee does call it back for a free kick. I'm going to give Diambu his debut, and I'm going to bring Ryan Lancaster on for Eli just as well as the final change of the game. Hopefully no injuries within these last 15 minutes or so. Mamadi Diambu on loan from Everton. Kind of similar to Paris Magoma, who was on loan here from Brentford last year. And it's O'Hara who strides towards the Wycombe Wanderers box.
He did what he had to do defensively.
O'Hara, rather. Nobody challenged him, so he just continued to step forward with the ball.
He spotted the little nick on the
Potentially could have got a shot off there, but chose instead to spread the ball wide to Ryan Lancaster. I'm not sure how much longer Ryan Lancaster will be a Redmont Rangers player either. He's already dropped in the pecking order. Eli Just and Louis Barry are two main starters for this year. Ryan Lancaster will certainly play. I do have my eye
calls it free kick given.
on another winger though. I did negotiate
To book him for that.
with him a couple of times in the off season. We had to pay his release clause, which was just under 4 million, so it was a good chunk of our budget.
No nonsense defensive clearance.
However, he's currently being paid $39,500 a week
The back foot.
by Rangers. We got it down to, I think it was about 15 a week, so it was a big pay cut for him. But 15,000 a week would still be a lot of money
Looking threatening.
for us to be paying out. So we didn't end up pulling the trigger on that.
It's going to be a goal kick.
And then had a look at a couple of other wingers. But this guy I've got my eye on, he's definitely the best option.
So almost at full time, and the home side very much.
And if I'm going to sign another winger, it will be him. So
Well, what an excellent performance.
we can't afford him at the moment. We've only got a little over 2 million left. And we do need some of that money to re-sign our own players and things like that.
Already close to the goal. It will be a goal.
So we can't afford to sign him just yet, but potentially in January maybe we can look to move on a player like Ryan Lancaster. If not, potentially next summer we'll go back after him, but he looks really good. I think I've shown him before, but I will show him again just after the game here. And we do also have that right to buy option on Louis Barry for 3 million as well. So we've got to bear that in mind if we do look for another winger. Could be 7 here. And it's not. Daniel Jefferson puts it wide. Could have equalled Jake Dale's tally for the game. I think the goalkeeper did just enough to put him off there. Wickham have barely been able to touch the ball in this second half. We've just done what we want with it, really.
The referee has decided to add on a minimum of 5 minutes.
5 minutes of added time.
Very much in control of the situation.
Good chunk of that time is probably down to goal celebrations, to be honest. I'm not sure how wise the Diambu signing was, to be honest. He's not a starter, he's kind of a bench player for us. But because he's on loan from a Premier League club, even though we're only paying 40% of his wages, he is actually, I think, the top earner at the club. So we're paying, I'm pretty sure, 10,000 a week to sit on our bench at the moment. I mean, he could potentially start ahead of Brandon Anderson. And Everton would obviously like that to be the case. They've not sent him out on loan to just sit on the bench. I'm not sure if he'll be with us the entire season though, or if there'll be or if he'll return to Everton at some point, whether they recall him or whether we actually terminate the loan. But I think Diambu, we'll see how it goes, but might not be a Redmont Rangers player all season.
Yeah, they should be happy with that. It was a good display, and it's always important to get off to a decent start.
Fantastic start to the season then. A 6-0 win at home. 2 goals from Jake Dale. A goal from Eli Just. 2 goals from Eli Just. 1 goal from Eli Just. 2 from Jake Dale, Sam Ford, Daniel Jefferson, Eli Just. And then there's one other. Who scored the other goal? 57% possession in the end. 15 shots to Wycombe Wanderers 1. Events. Can we see here? Michael Garbett, of course, scored the other. So Eli Just, Michael Garbett, 2 from Jake Dale, 1 from Sam Ford, and 1 from Daniel Jefferson rounds out the 6. So really good performance to start off season 1. We have to be top of the table at the end of the first week of fixtures.
Just a quick couple of questions.
Can't imagine anybody else has a better than +6 goal difference after just 1 game. So much was expected from Risa in his first game as a Redmont Rangers player. He didn't really live up to the billing. I mean, he didn't really have much to do, to be honest. They had 1 shot. He played the ball around at the back nicely. There was 1 moment where he let the Wycombe Wanderers player through. Diambu, unimpressive. He came off the bench. Again, didn't really have much to do. He came off the bench for 20 minutes, 15 minutes maybe even at the end of the game when we were 6-0 up. So you can't expect too much from him in a game like that. Jake Dale was fantastic though, as was the rest of the team.
No further questions. Thanks so much.
So we are indeed top of the table with a 6-0 victory. Nobody else has a goal difference anywhere close to ours. A couple of scout reports already. So I did send out the youth scouts very early in the season. Doesn't look like they've got anything for me just yet though. I do need to check out the youth academy and just see how those players are progressing down there as well. I don't think we've got too much to be excited about in the youth academy at the moment. Certainly no players like Jesse Cartwright. And it doesn't look like we're going to be adding anyone in this particular cycle. Very disappointing. We've got an offer for Sam Ford from Barnsley of 590,000. It's not a bad offer for Sam Ford, to be fair, but he's still a Redmont Rangers player. He's still very much in my plans for this year. Louis Barry, we have just put on a development plan to shift him to left wing, and he does actually go up 1 overall there, so that's nice to see. I think I'm going to make him an inverted winger. Got high hopes for Louis Barry. I think he can help us out this season. And I'm very much open to taking Aston Villa up on that right to buy option. Let's have a quick look at our transfer hub then. So Harvey Vale is another player I've negotiated with. 2.5 million we managed to negotiate it down to. So again, we're probably not going to be able to afford him right now, but another player I'm potentially looking at for January or next summer. He looks decent. I'm not crazy about him, but he is quick. You know, good with the ball at his feet. Really good passer of the ball as well, and not a bad shot on him either. 73 finishing for a cam is really good. Couple of decent enough play styles. So he looks a decent player. The player I'm really excited about, though, I wish I could get Alex Lowry as well, because he looks insane. 71 overall at 22, and he's got 5 different play styles, each of which are pretty good. The guy I'm really excited about, though, Matondo. So 3.95 million is release clause. 24 years old, 73 overall, 92 pace with quick step and rapid. 74 dribbling. I would love him on one side and Barry on the other. So yeah, potentially we'll back around and negotiate with him at some point. I'm just going to let Vale go. I'm not going to bother even negotiating a contract with him or trying to do that. We've got another big old centre back here. Very strong. Decent in the tackle. I'll add him to the shortlist just in case we want to look at him a little closer later. This guy looks half decent as well. Another CDM with really good defensive stats and looks to be decent passing the ball as well. So we'll add him to the shortlist. We'll tidy up the shortlist as well. So, second game of the episode and of the season against Notts County. I think I might just run out the same 11 here. Although we do need to rotate, really. Diambu just not as good at anything as Brandon Anderson. Especially defending. He's only got 63 defending. Do I make any changes? I don't see a reason to make any changes. I'm just going to run out the same 11. So I'm going to quick sim this game against Notts County and hope that we can come away with a second win. And we do. Eli Just and Jake Dale puts 2-0 up in the second half. Scott grabs a goal 5 minutes from time, but we do manage to hold on to a 2-1 victory. So 6 points from 6 so far in the league. They're saying O'Hara disappointed in his debut as well. I mean, it wasn't his debut. He did come on off the bench against Wycombe Wanderers. Were we as well prepared as we should have been? It was a narrow win. Let's just say we controlled the game for long spells. I'm not sure if we did or not, but...
Thanks, that's all the questions we have for you.
So, 2 wins from 2. Jake Dale has maxed out now at a 74 overall, and he is still just 29, so he's approaching 30, but he's not 30 just yet. So he does have a few good years left in him, I think, Jake Dale. So Carabao Cup game against Plymouth is the last game that we will get to in this episode. Here is where I will rotate some players. So Duarte can come in, O'Hara can come in. Let's put De Silva in as well. I think let's heavily rotate the team. Jefferson can start up front. Lancaster can start on the right and Walter can start on the left. Adams can make the bench, and Diambu will start alongside Ford in midfield. Let's put Samuel Adam on the bench as well. So that'll be the team. We'll leave Baxter in goal. I don't care at all about the Carabao Cup. I wouldn't mind making a run in the FA Cup, not least because the board again want us to reach the round of 16 for some reason. But the Carabao Cup I don't care about, so let's just rotate. Let's get some fresh legs in there, and let's get some players in the team who don't usually play. And whatever happens, happens. If we lose, I don't mind too much. But we don't. We win 1-0, and Risa scores his first goal for Redmont Rangers, so that's a pleasant surprise.
Just a moment of your time.
Are we already thinking about how far we can go? No, I don't care about the Carabao Cup. We've just been saying that. One goal between the teams. We'll be nervous towards the end. We gave ourselves something to hang on to. And then Scar was outstanding at the back for him. We stuck to the task though.
Thanks very much.
So we'll round out the episode there. We do have a big inbox left to work through. Some more centre backs that I have been looking at. This one we can deal with immediately, and it's an offer for Jesse Cartwright, which is going to be rejected outright. I might even go into the squad hub and block offers on him because he is not going anywhere. He's the future of Redmont Rangers. I think he has potential to be the best player in Redmont Rangers history. I think Jake Dale is that guy at the moment, but the sky's the limit for Jesse Cartwright. So I'll work through those other messages in the inbox between episodes. In the next episode, we'll be taking on 3 more games. We've got a game against Reading at home, a game against Fleetwood away, and then a game against Portsmouth at home, all in the same week. So fixtures coming thick and fast already in Season 3 here. But we will end the first episode of Season 3 top of the league and through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. So a really positive start. We'll get to 3 more games in the next episode. Portsmouth probably the game that we will play, since they are third just below us, and they're probably going to be one of our rivals for a promotion place this season. So we'll take them on in the next episode, and until the next episode, take it easy.